The decision to go back to graduate school in my mid 30s was not an easy one. However, as I sit and reflect on the journey thus far, I must say that it is one of the best decisions that I've made. Hi, my name is Lydia Stallings, and I am a second year MSW candidate at the University of South Carolina part time campus located in Charleston. I am employed as a clinical care coordinator at the South Carolina Department of Mental Health, housed in Berkeley Community Mental Health Center in Moncks Corner, and have had the honor of engaging in an employment based field practicum for the 2021-22 school year. This year, I have worked hard to incorporate theories and competencies learned in my seminar classes with my day to day work at the center. Of the many competencies practiced this year, I identified three that have impacted me the most. The first is to apply social work ethical principles to guide professional practice. Being able to learn ethical concepts and theories of behavior in my classes and to practice these concepts concurrently in the field has been a truly dynamic experience. Learning, for example, the importance of self-determination for our clients, then going to practicum and engaging with a client who has had several DUIs but denies a need for a treatment program, or a client who continues to smoke cigarettes after a COPD diagnosis, and framing these behaviors from a cognitive behavioral model or trans theoretical lens rather than a place of personal belief or judgment afforded me a perspective I would have never developed on my own, and in turn has helped me develop trusting, positive relationships built on a mutual respect for self-determination. The second is to advance human rights and social economic justice. As a student in a state agency, learning the policies and procedures that affect our clients daily has been eye-opening for me. Large organizations like the Department of Mental Health typically take special care to preserve the human dignity and rights of the clients they serve. However, with an entity as large as DMH, there are inevitable pitfalls of the system and gaps in which my clients have often suffered firsthand. To maintain confidentiality, I will not mention his name, but I have a client who has been incarcerated for 2 years awaiting a nursing home placement. Forensic placements have been denied due to COVID-19, overcrowding, and staffing issues, and traditional placement options have denied him due to his psychiatric diagnosis and behaviors in his youth. Admittedly, this process has been frustrating, yet motivating for me. I have found a new passion to fight for my marginalized and underprivileged clients who otherwise are unable to advocate for themselves. Lastly, applying knowledge of human behavior and the social environment has been most profound for me this school year. As cited at the website below, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs is one of the best known theories of motivation. Maslow's theory states that our actions are motivated by certain physiological needs. It is often represented by a pyramid of needs with the most basic needs at the bottom and more complex needs at the top. My job and practicum task as a care coordinator is to complete a thorough assessment with my clients and identify their needs. I then work to link them with the resources and services identified at the assessment. My position was created because mental health clinicians were noticing that clients were unable to focus on their treatment and were instead plagued with anxiety regarding their life conditions. Time after time, I encounter people who do not have a place to live or food to eat, and as a result, are unable to manage mental health symptoms. Understanding that a person's social environment directly impacts their treatment provides an opportunity to assist them at a holistic level. Supervision has been an invaluable tool for me during my practicum this year. Regardless of how long you've been working in a particular field, mentorship and leadership are necessary for ongoing growth and professionalism. My personal experience with my field instructor has been very positive. She is such a wealth of knowledge and experience, not only in South Carolina, but in other social service settings across the country. My field instructor has provided me not only with professional guidance, but life lessons. When I expressed my desire to work in a macro position and questioned if I should take the clinical licensure exam, she quickly encouraged me to complete it despite my current goals. This prompted a discussion on the wide spectrum of jobs a social worker can have, and she highlighted that if I decide to shift gears in the future, a clinical license may prove beneficial. I look forward to my placement on the clinical side of the Department of Mental Health next year and to the added knowledge I will gain from my supervisor there. I would say that coming prepared to supervisory sessions with questions and case examples was the best thing I did in practicum this year and plan to continue in my upcoming placement. While I do not have any fears about my supervision to come, I do plan to approach it as a new opportunity to absorb all of the experience and knowledge I can from my supervisor and to focus on that goal. Years ago, when I transitioned from worker to supervisor within my own unit, I was sent to a leadership training. I remember thinking at the time that the training was pointless, as I already knew how to do the job well. However, what I learned there, I have carried with me throughout the years and plan to bring that knowledge with me to my final year in the MSW program. I learned that a good leader requires listening skills. And while that may seem like a basic concept, I know firsthand how a career in social services can pull you in what seems like a million directions. Perfecting the ability to tune in or focus on the needs of your staff or clients while simultaneously managing your own personal thoughts and life stressors is essential in being a good leader. In my home life, I would often complain that my family does not help enough around the house. However, when my children do clean their room or my husband folds towels, for example, I find myself going behind them and redoing it my way. A good leader places trust in their staff. They trust in the ability to not only execute tasks, but to do their job well. I believe this builds autonomy for those in which you lead and sets a foundation for mutual trust within an organization, and in my case, a family. Having a clear set of leadership goals will give me a target to work for in my advanced year practicum and prepare me for the leadership roles when I graduate. While I am uncertain about where I will end up once I graduate, I know in my heart I will remain in the field of social work in some capacity for a lifetime. I've learned that while things outside of my control in the workplace, such as a global pandemic or the retirement of a mentor, may rock the ease of normalcy or comfortability for me, I am able to adjust and continue doing this important work. This year, I was awarded Employee of the Quarter in the Targeted Case Management Program in South Carolina. In the photo to the right, I am pictured along with my supervisor, Justin, and my field instructor, who also functions as our department manager, Marty. They have helped illuminate my areas of strength for me and encourage me to strive for leadership roles I may have never considered in the past. The biggest challenge I see myself facing is limiting my own potential. While I have a long employment history in social services, I am anxiously anticipating my career as a social worker. Being held to elevated principles and standards I may not have been held to as a case planner may seem intimidating. However, I view the social work code of ethics as a rite of passage in a sense, providing a blueprint to the professional I want to be. When beginning my field placement, I did not think much would change, and it is already my place of employment. However, this past year has shown me that while I may have walked into the agency as a case planner with some skills, drive, and knowledge, this concentration is an entire lifestyle change, and I will walk out a social worker. Thank you so much for spending this time with me as I reflected on my mid program experiences. A special thank you to my professors who graciously deal with all that I have to say, and to my field instructor, Marty, for a year full of wisdom and your precious time that you have shared with me. It has truly been an honor.